Welcome to Le Weekend, your essential roundup of French news on culture, business, the economy, and current affairs. We bring you a convenient way to catch up on the stories from the past week in France, plus an additional focus feature blending reportage and cultural context. These are the headlines on Monday, March 2nd. France is set to increase its nuclear warheads. French President Macron spoke after the launch of US and Israeli attacks against Iran in a campaign that risks destabilizing the Middle East, saying that an upgrade of France's arsenal is essential, as reported by Le Monde. France and Germany announced plans on Monday to deepen cooperation on nuclear deterrence, marking a significant shift in European defense policy as the continent faces rising threats from Russia and instability linked to the Iran conflict, as reported by Reuters. In related news, Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen announced that Denmark entered an agreement on strategic nuclear deterrence with France, as reported by Reuters. These are the headlines on Tuesday, March 3rd. Air France-KLM said in a statement that it has cancelled its flights to and from the Middle East, citing security risks from the ongoing conflict, as reported by Reuters. Britain, France and Greece sent air defense forces to a Cyprus base after a drone strike that hit the Royal Air Force base on the island, prompting a broader regional defense military response on Tuesday from European allies, as reported by Reuters. A French court cut jail terms for 3 men in Samuel Paty's murder case. A French appeal court upheld 1 jail term and reduced 3 others over the chain of events that led to the beheading of teacher Samuel Paty by a Chechen jihadist in October 2020, as reported by RFI. These are the headlines on Wednesday, March 4th. Slovak ammunition group CVS Holding, part of fast-growing Czech defense firm CSG, will form a joint venture with France-based Urenco to build a €300 million, approximately $349 million, artillery propellant factory in Slovakia, as reported by Reuters. French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot said several repatriation flights for French nationals in the Middle East were planned for Wednesday, as reported by Reuters. The mayor of Marseille opposes Kanye West's concert over unabashed Nazism. Benoît Payan said the rapper is not welcome to perform at his scheduled concert at the Vélodrome Stadium on June 11th, but local state authorities can only ban a concert under very strict conditions, as reported by Le Monde. These are the headlines on Thursday, March 5th. The public prosecutor's office in Bordeaux said the probe into a baby's death did not show a direct link with Nestlé's formula. The results of 2 similar investigations in the towns of Angers and Blois are still pending, as reported by Reuters. To quell a controversy, the Paris Book Festival and Amazon are ending their partnership. Earlier this week, the French Booksellers Association announced that it was boycotting this major event in the book sector because of the space given to Amazon during the 2026 edition, as reported by Les Echos. France accused Russia of election interference using fake websites. French officials have accused a Russian group tied to military intelligence of foreign interference after it sought to discredit a center-right candidate in upcoming local elections via a fraudulent website, as reported by RFI. These are the headlines for Friday, March 6th. Fitch maintained France's A+ rating with a stable outlook, praising its strong economy despite public debt. The ratings agency considers that the country has a diversified economy with per capita income above the median for countries rated in the A+ category, but deplored rising public debt and a complicated socio-political context, as reported by France 24. Disneyland Paris unveiled details of its new nighttime aquatic show. The lake of more than 7 acres at the heart of the Disney Adventure World extension, opening on March 29th, will be the setting of Disney Cascade of Lights, a luminous aquatic and aerial ballet every evening at the park's closing time, as reported by Le Figaro. French railway operator SNCF is targeting the Italian market after securing train paths to launch services as far as Rome. The Italian Competition Authority announced that Italian rail operator Rete Ferroviaria Italiana will offer at least 18 daily train paths to SNCF Voyageurs on the Turin-Venice and Turin-Rome lines, as reported by Le Figaro. You're listening to Le Weekend. Now that you're all caught up with headlines from the past week, it's time for our bonus story. Today we look at why Disneyland Paris made the news this week. As reported by Disneyland Paris News, the park is moving toward a grander stage. Adventure Bay, a massive 3-hectare body of water at the heart of the newly renamed Disney Adventure World. On March 29th, the resort will debut Disney Cascade of Lights, a show that promises to be a technological successor to the castle displays. This new spectacle will feature a choreography of drones as never seen before, including specialized aquatic drones designed to dance across the water's surface. It is a bold pivot, moving the resort's wow factor from the historic spires of the castle to the shimmering horizons of a new kingdom. Just a few short weeks before the inauguration, however, tension hangs over the gardens at Marne-la-Vallée. To the casual observer, the magic remains undisturbed, but for the dedicated legions of Disney enthusiasts, the atmosphere is charged with anticipation and a touch of melancholy, because the new water displays means the end of another attraction. According to reports from West France, a significant technological shift is set to take place on April 1st. The drones that have defined the nighttime skyline over Sleeping Beauty Castle are scheduled to vanish. This decision has left many regular visitors furious and disappointed, as the drone-assisted spectacles like the current Disney Tales of Magic have been a centerpiece of the park's identity for a long time. To understand why Disneyland Paris is willing to risk the ire of its fans by shifting its focus, we must look back at its storied and often tumultuous 34-year history. As documented in the Complete History of Disneyland Paris, the dream of a European Disney kingdom officially began on April 12, 1992, though it didn't start with the fairy tale success many expected. Back then, the resort was known as Euro Disney, and its opening day saw only about half of the anticipated 60,000 guests go through the gates. The initial reception was lukewarm, and the park struggled to find its footing within the cultural landscape of France. The early years were defined by rapid adaptation. According to the resort's official history, the foundational agreement signed with French authorities in 1987 had paved the way for a massive tourist destination, but the reality of the market required a more localized touch. In 1994, the resort underwent its first major rebranding, changing its name to Disneyland Paris to better resonate with the romantic allure of the capital. That same year, the opening of a high-speed TGV station directly at the park's gates began to turn the tide, making the resort a global hub accessible from across Europe. Through the late 90s, the park relied on big-ticket attractions to maintain interest. The opening of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Peril in 1993 and the 1995 debut of Space Mountain from the Earth to the Moon, a Jules Verne-inspired thrill ride unique to the Paris location, were critical in drawing back the crowds. These editions proved that the European audience craved immersive storytelling combined with high-intensity experiences. The next major milestone arrived in 2002 with the opening of a second park, Walt Disney Studios. At its launch, it was noted that the smallest Disney park in the world themed after a Hollywood production lot. While it brought new experiences like the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror and Crush's coaster, it often lived in the shadow of the original Disneyland park. It wasn't until a massive investment plan announced in 2018, a €2.1 billion transformation, that the second park began its journey towards the immersive adventure world we see today. This transformation has been a steady march. In 2022, the Marvel Avengers campus opened, replacing older studio theme areas with a high-octane campus for heroes. More recently, the resort has invested heavily in hospitality, completing a royal transformation of the signature Disneyland Hotel in 2024 and beginning a wildlife-themed reimagining of the Lodge in 2026. Today, this rebranding of Walt Disney Studios Park to Disney Adventure World represents the final step in moving away from the behind-the-scenes aesthetics of the early 2000s. According to the Disney Parks blog, the March 29th opening of World of Frozen is the anchor for this new era. Visitors will no longer wander through a movie set, they will step directly into the Kingdom of Arendelle, complete with a 36-meter-high North Mountain and the Frozen Ever After attraction. So while the removal of the air drones from the castle show may feel like a loss to those who love the traditional view of Main Street USA, it is consistent with a 30-year pattern of evolution. From its humble and rocky beginnings as Euro Disney to its current status as one of Europe's top tourist destinations, the resort has always been willing to shed its old skin to make room for the next grand adventure. Thank you for listening to Le Weekend, your one-stop destination for the main headlines in France. Catch our weekly roundup every weekend wherever you get your podcasts. Stay informed.